Strange and mysterious sounds emanating from this glorious instrument, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Koch here, Wildwood Guitars, beautiful Louisville, Colorado, in the shadow of the glorious precipices of the Rocky Mountains. Wow. Caffeine works, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Gibson, Montana, 1941 SJ-100. A glorious instrument, very easy to play. Sometimes acoustic guitars, you grab them and they say, oh, no, you didn't, and no, you won't. This one says, come, take me, I'm yours. That's what SJ-100 really means to me. Actually, apparently 100 stood for how much they actually cost back in the day. Unfortunately, we cannot honor that price this very day, and no, adjusting for inflation, it would be called the SJ-3000 something, but we won't get into that. Back in 1941, a different situation. But this glorious instrument is kind of coming back through time, right back at you through the glories of the internet, the inner Google, which you're seeing it right now and hearing it. This is available in two glorious hues. You have your vintage sunburst, pow. Also in natural. These have a Sitka spruce top, a glorious tone wood. Scalloped top bracing as well, ladies and gentlemen. And in order to get a scalloped top, a lot of people don't understand this, you got to go fishing for a certain kind of, well, kind of a beastly scallop that is infested into the tone cavity, and they feast their way into the scalloping, and that's not true. That's a fishtail. Right, Vic? Stop playing with that phone! Genuine mahogany back and sides and a mahogany neck. Mahogany is a glorious tone wood. When you put the spruce together with the mahogany, you know what you got? Tone. Glorious, huge sounding, very balanced across the EQ sphere, if I may be so bold as to use that kind of, that's kind of technical talk. That's unusual for me. Usually I stick to strictly the vernacular. Come. Now, other things you need to know, listener, watcher, guitar player, is that it has a compound dovetail neck joint. This is important. This is where the tone, the magic happens. And they attach it with hide glue. Now, hide glue is something, obviously, back in the day. It goes back to the days when, manufacturers of violins back in the day, luthiers and things of this nature, that was the only glue they had. But the thing is that it's the best for transferring actual tone, the vibrations. There are other glues that are easier to work with, mind you. But hide glue is the shizzle. That's another technical term. It's more expensive to work with, and it smells like some kind of pestilential reeking from the depths of Mordor. But it's worth it, ladies and gentlemen, to make the tone come to the fore. Okay, we're moving on. Rosewood Fingerboard for maximum tickleability. Tusk, nut, and saddles for proper tone transference as well. Always important. All these things together, ladies and gentlemen, are very, very important. It should be also pointed out that no shortcuts are taken. It's not like, well, how can we cut corners here and there so we can make more money? It's like, no, let's make the best guitar possible. We don't care how much it costs. That's why they're a little bit more expensive, but that's the reason. They're going after quality, not just your pocketbook. Fire Stripe Pickguard. Let's take a look at this thing right here. I think it's an interesting little note that we just heard about. Vic was telling us some stories. He's a storyteller. The first guitar that was ever on television was a Gibson acoustic guitar that had this same type of pickguard on it, which is, it's a glorious old school thing. It kind of looks like a predator cat. I'm thinking Mowgli was familiar with it as he was dealing with that savage cat in the wild in Jungle Book. I don't know where I was going with that, but I think this pickguard kind of says it all. Stand clear and stand firm. And beware when you're in the forest, because creatures don't understand the ways of the night. Now, white button vintage tuners. That's what we got going on right here. They're very old school, but they work, and they take me back to the day. Man, an old buddy of mine who had an old Gibson acoustic. Every time I see these things, they bring me back to when I first started playing guitar and actually thought I was going to be rich and famous. And of course, I'm neither. Okay, let's go on. We've got a high quality electronic pickup matched to the guitar's individual tonal quality. What does that mean? There's no like set, okay, we're going to put this same pickup in every Gibson acoustic. Is they suss out the tonal characteristics of that individual instrument and pick out a pickup that will reflect those tonal characteristics accordingly for maximum tonal excellence. Wow. Let's give a shout out for caffeine right now, because ladies and gentlemen, look at these guys. They're all reading their phones over here. I'm like swinging for the fence. All right, you just heard this glorious creature. It again, in a nutshell, you got mahogany, you got spruce, Sitka spruce, working in tandem for a very balanced, glorious instrument. A lot of the old school craftsmanship is involved with this instrument, but I got to tell you, the playability right out of the gate is really quite snap-crack-a-lackin'. And again, that's technical. Okay? Gibson, Montana, 1941 SJ-100. See you later, y'all.